I'm in London right now, which is cool. Much like this weather, it's very cool. Feels like fall. It's so refreshing, especially experiencing New York a few weeks ago. It was so hot, so humid, it was still amazing, but it was, you had to kind of tolerate the weather, whereas this is nice. This is calm, relaxing. You can layer up. I dig it. London's always been on my list of places to visit, places I want to go. It has such a rich culture and history, and the Beatles are my favorite band. They're certainly a pillar of influence in my life, and the Beatles, London, there's a big relationship there. And so I've wanted to go for quite a while, and it was on the radar this year when I kind of was formulating ideas of where I wanted to travel this year and experience. I wanted to go back in April, but things weren't lining up, and things just didn't work out. So I went to Miami instead. And then about a month ago, an opportunity came up. So the band that I record with, Bonelang, friends of mine, they're playing 5 sold-out shows here in London. And so tonight is the first of the 5 shows. And so about a month ago, I booked London, and here I am. Kind of, it feels very surreal, because I've always dreamed about coming here, and this was always a spot. Like I've been around Spain and Paris, but of all Europe, London has always been a favorite target of mine. And it's been interesting so far. I've been here a full day. I built in a buffer to just kind of like settle in. I got in, didn't sleep much on the plane, got in around like 9 a.m. yesterday. And, I'm staying by the British Museum. I'm in a park right now, Bloomsbury Park, something like that. And so I'm staying by the British Museum. So I dropped off my luggage where I'm staying, but I couldn't check in until 3. So my plan was, I'll just go to the British Museum, kill time. So that's what I did. The place where I'm staying is like right across from the British Museum. And it works out well, because the show tonight is kind of in this area. So I'm staying all around London in different spots based on where the venues are of the performances. So I went to the British Museum. It's a top museum in the world. I still think I'm more impressed with the Met. To me, I think the Met that's the best museum I've gone to. And I've gone to a lot of museums. Sort of. I spent a lot of time at museums. British Museum, they have the Rosetta Stone. That was cool to see. You couldn't see much though, because there were so many people around. So everybody just goes up, gets their picture right in front of it. There's this big crowd around it. I like taking photos of crowds around an art piece or a artifact, whatever it may be. I always like taking these crowd photos with Vincent van Gogh paintings, Starry Night, or self-portraits. It's the Rosetta Stone. They got a lot of stuff in there. They kind of message it as a museum of the world because they have a lot of the world's stuff in there. They got pieces of the Parthenon. They got all this Egyptian stuff. That was something I thought was interesting. When you're walking around, it's pretty packed. Now it all kind of started. There's this wing of enlightenment. So people got together and they wanted to kind of curate a history of the world for a museum. That was a cool space with they had a bunch of old books, old bookshelves, and they have some fossils in there. Around this age of enlightenment, people used to keep these cabinets of curiosities. So natural kind of wonders, fossils, and minerals, gems, that kind of stuff. And so they collected artifacts and things around the world. A lot of people there. But probably the most packed was the Egyptian wing. They have all these artifacts of ancient Egypt, mummies and coffins. And, it's interesting to me how that is so packed, but then the room next to it, like ancient Mesopotamia, Levant area, there's like no one there. Why is that? Is it because we've built all these stories around ancient Egypt and Egyptian civilization, and I don't know. Obviously, ancient Egypt was quite a powerful civilization and interesting, but it's just it's fascinating to me why that kind of is. Why people are more drawn to one thing rather than the other when they're kind of around the same time and same area. Ancient Mesopotamia is really underrated. I like learning about all that stuff. Persia, Syrian Empire, Babylon, all that stuff. So I was at the British Museum. Then about 1 o'clock, I felt so tired. I was so tired. Right when I got here, I went to a spot, got an espresso, sat outside the cafe, just wrote in my notebook. That was so amazing. Really, that's all I want to do. Just go to different cafes, sip espresso, right? Just observe. It's the best. I've done it like 3 more times since then. In like less than a day, less than 24 hours. So once I checked in, I took a nap, much needed nap. And then I walked around a little bit. And I met up with Sammy. We went to this pub called the Arch Dial, something like that. The train that I took is the Elizabeth line, and I took it from the airport to where I'm staying. Really smooth, really impressed. And I'm just like, gosh, Chicago, America, we're so behind in our infrastructure kind of way. And so we're at this pub, and there's like 10 or 12 of us. We're drinking a pint of ale. And I guess the Elizabeth line is brand new. so it's like pristine. And they were making jokes that when it opened, Londoners took picnics and just rode the line back and forth. Very London thing to do, I guess. Everybody talks funny. Hello. You know, you talk like this. It's like everybody, I haven't been around a lot of people with English accents, British accents, I don't even know. And so it's kind of strange because it feels like everybody's a movie character. Or it's just characters in these movies. You're just surrounded by people talking like that. And it doesn't stop. People are just keep talking with all these accents. We had a great time, though. It was such a special moment with a very close friend and then his family and relatives here in London. English people are a lot of fun. They know how to have a good time. But overall, I'm excited, grateful to be here. It still doesn't feel quite real. I don't know. It's very like surreal, very like, it's hard to describe. But I am here in London. I'm glad that I kind of settled in the first day, and now it's just kind of, I got a feel for things, got a feel of the people, culture, kind of how to get around, well rested. So the logistical part, that's what I hate the most of any trip, are the logistics. It rains. It'll like rain and then not rain and then rain and then not rain. But I like the weather right now. It's pretty good. So I'm here to record shows. I'm gonna walk around. I'm working on a new book, which includes a lot of designs. And there are designs that I become aware of by just observing my surroundings, and I see designs on facades, and I take a photo of it, and then I change it up a little bit, and that's going to be part of the book. So I'm going to be taking a lot of photos. I take a lot of photos when I'm on trips. I have like photo albums of places and trips, and that's kind of my souvenir rather than kind of buying trinkets and stuff. I'll have espresso on this trip and probably pastries. I've been really into caprese kind of sandwiches. I just had mozzarella caprese baguette at a cafe before this. It's cool. I'm excited.
That's not fucking oil.
London. Yeah, it's a cool city so far.